Hey, what's up, man?
What's up, Nate?
How you doing?
Good. How you doing?
Good. Good. Just here at the office. To get the interview started, why don't you give us a little background about yourself and how you got into making music in the first place?
Cool. So, background on me, I've just always loved music. I've always been grooving, just dancing, feeling music, always vibing. Mostly because of my dad. My dad's like one of those dads when I was younger, he would just be like in the store, like dancing, embarrassing us. But he always, like, he would wake us up in the morning with like music playing really loud. And like, he pretty much got me into music just from his energy, just always grooving. And I always wanted to make music, but like when I was in sixth grade, I played piano because I was like forced to by my parents, and I wasn't really into that. I was kind of just like doing it because I had to. And then later on in life, I started wanting to make beats because I was wanting to hear something, I guess, that I had in my mind that I wasn't hearing anywhere. So I started, I got Logic and started watching YouTube, trying to figure out how to use that. And then I really wanted to play an instrument, and then I just was like trying to manifest that. Like, I want to play something. I started putting myself in musical situations, like being around people that played music, and started I was hanging out with a friend that had a band rehearsal, and they didn't have a drummer there, so I was like, can I play drums? And they were like, all right. And it was actually HR's rehearsal from Bad Brains, which is crazy because I didn't even know HR or Bad Brains at the time. And I'm just like hanging out, and I actually asked him, I was like, can I play drums with you guys? He's like, if you want. And I was like, all right. So I started playing, and I wasn't like crushing it or anything, but I was just like holding down the beat. And then their bassist, Freshie, who's now my sweet love, he at the time he was just a stranger, and he was like, here, I'll play drums. Why don't you play this? And he showed me something on bass that was like really simple. And I was like really into it. I was like, oh, like this. And they were encouraging me, like saying that I was picking it up quickly. So I remember I had a guitar. A friend of mine had gifted me a guitar a while back, and I had a guitar at home, so I was practicing bass on the guitar, and I kept coming back. And ever since then, I just freaking started loving bass, and I got myself a bass and told some friends. I developed a nice friendship with this guy named Chuck Treese, who's like a crazy ass drummer, awesome skater, just a total living legend. And he connected me with Vixen 77, who's my current band. He just tagged me in a post. They were, Philly rock and roll band looking for a bassist.
Oh,
So I
yeah.
hit them up, and here I am.
Nice. And what makes you wanna like play punk rock music? What's some of your influences to take that path?
Honestly, the craziest thing is I didn't want to play punk rock music. Like, I don't really have punk rock influences. I just wanted to join a band. Like, it was very like a general thing I wanted. Like, I wasn't even thinking what kind of band I wanted to join. It just happened to be that he tagged me in their posts, and they happened to be punk. And so when I hit them up, I was like, "Oh, can you send me some songs so I can like practice?" And I was like loving it. I'm like, oh my God, I thought it was really hard though, because it was very fast. So I'm like, shit, like I gotta like get my fingers going faster. I started learning how to use a pick. And I just started loving it. Like, I'm actually like new to that music, and I feel like it's something I just freaking, am obsessed with. Like, the only things I really like rock music I really knew growing up is like popular rock songs. Like, I used to love Avril Lavigne when I was younger. I loved Panic at the Disco and Fall Out Boy, and just like the rock songs that like anyone would hear just listening to the radio. But I didn't really have like a punk or rock music upbringing. So I feel like part of my excitement about it is that it's like new for me, and I'm like, oh shit, like this isn't something I really grew up on, and it's like different, and it's like I feel like I get to like express like a side of me that's like, just like because I'm like usually like zen as fuck, and I do my meditations and I do Reiki, so it's like a nice like other side of me that gets to be like, fuck you. You
Yeah. Yeah, I personally like rock music for basically the same reason. I feel like in regular life it's a lot more beneficial to be laid back and reserved and kind of observe what's going on and be calm. And rock is like not that at all. It feels good to you know have that little space in your life where you can let loose.
Yeah, totally, totally.
So are you guys gonna be in the studio anytime soon? I know you guys had like a little EP project and then COVID happened and kind of messed up like everybody's groove in the music industry. But what do you guys have coming for the future?
So we actually, right before COVID, we were in a studio in New York with Pete Donnelly, our producer, making our first album. And it was so fun. But then COVID, and then our drummer actually left in the midst of COVID. So we were kind of just like chill for a little while and just like kind of looking for a new drummer and like not really doing that much because of COVID. And then randomly we found this new drummer. Our manager Greg found Sarah, our new drummer, who we had our second rehearsal with yesterday or Wednesday, and she's fucking awesome. So there's just like all this new excitement again. And so I'm sure we're gonna get back in the studio soon. We have like a couple of new songs we're working on. A couple of us are writing new songs. And yeah, we're just super stoked. Sarah's already like got down like pretty much all of our songs. There's like two that we didn't have recorded that we're gonna like work on together. And yeah, I we haven't talked about like dates or anything for when we're gonna record an album, but I'm assuming we're gonna probably like work on it and kind of like work on marketing as well. So we're not just like dropping it out of nowhere, but kind of like getting excitement flowing for it. So we'll probably be talking about that soon. But what we've really been just focusing on is finding a drummer. So now that we have Sarah, it's like a lot of like excitement, ready to just like pump it up and like get going again. So our last rehearsal was really awesome, and yeah, we're excited. So I'm sure the end of this year we'll be dropping, if not a single, like probably at least a single, like just to, yeah, I don't really know. I guess we got to like kind of talk about how we're going to go about like releasing certain things to build up excitement for the album. I would love personally to make a record, like a vinyl record.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
What's I'm not sure about like your area. What's it like up there with the restrictions of performing live and things of that nature? Do you guys feel like you'll be able to get out and start performing soon, or how's that looking?
I wish I could say hell yeah, we're gonna perform really soon, but it doesn't seem like it. I mean, one positive thing, it seems like some people are starting to go back to school. And there are like some restaurants that are open inside now that are well, in Jersey, I know there's restaurants open now. I haven't been anywhere inside Philly. Oh, actually, yeah, I went to Panera Bread the other day inside, and like we could sit inside. So little things like that give me some hope. But a couple of venues that we used to perform at have closed that didn't like make it through COVID, which sucks. But hopefully things will come back soon. There's still restrictions, like, there hasn't been any performances that I've known about, but I'm praying that like everybody does what they have to do so everything can start opening back up again soon, because it definitely, we're missing performing. Like we went from rehearsing twice a week, every week, performing constantly, to just like completely stopping. So we're trying to get back to rehearsing more consistently. We took a really long break from rehearsals because of everything. So we're starting that back up, and we're starting to like figure out whatever we got to do to record like remotely as well. So I definitely can't wait to get back in the studio so we can record this album.
Yeah,
But yeah, I hope soon. I hope as soon as freaking possible.
yeah. Here in Florida, like Miami's a little bit more like strict, but like Fort Lauderdale is just like, oh, COVID never happened. Like we don't I don't know what that is. COVID. What's this? Like
Right.
I had a friend, he's actually from he lives up in New York, and he got like paid by a promoter to fly in and DJ this show in Fort Lauderdale, and he was telling me this was like Halloween, right? So
Wow.
it's still a while back that he was hit me up and he's like, I'm playing a show, and I was like, well, what do I like? What's the restrictions and stuff? What I gotta do? And he was like, oh, just wear a costume. They're taking temperature at the door. That was it. And that was in
Wow.
October, so things have gotten even more opened up since then. I know the major clubs here in Miami have like restrictions because they're just too big. People would know if they're like breaking rules and stuff like that. But in Fort
Right.
Lauderdale, that's it's wide open. So maybe you can get down to Key West, like
Right? Because Key West like never really shut down either. Like we were there in March and like the day we left, things shut down. It seemed like for like a week, everything's back. Like we went back in um was it December? I think we went back and everything was fine. Like everybody's performing all the time. But everything's outside too, so
right.
but nobody gives a fuck. Everyone's just like chilling, and they like did. Like last I heard, they didn't really even have many cases there. So
Yeah, in
they're
August I went to Key West because me and my girlfriend's birthdays both in August, and we didn't want to be like not do anything because of COVID, So we went down to Key West, and it was like nothing's happening.
right. I know. I was telling them like we got to get Vixen 77 down here because they don't have like any punk scene down there really. I didn't hear of any punk shows. I feel like they'd really enjoy having us down there, and we know a couple people that we could do something, but we just gotta get make sure everybody's healthy. I know our singer is a little bit immune compromised. She has asthma, so she's like trying to get a vaccine, and everybody's trying to get their vaccine, and hopefully when everybody gets that, we could fucking get it popping, get this album done, start traveling. I have dreams of touring the world, fucking getting the big bucks, bringing the fucking rock all over the world.
I think your style of music would be like you would be really well received in Europe for sure.
Yeah.
And I feel like here in Florida too. Like there's Miami is known for the dance music and hip hop and stuff, but there's like a really popular spot for music like what you guys make, and that like the main band that plays there, like they recorded their last album in Abbey Road, you know like
Wow.
they're like and they make music sound so much like what you guys do.
Wow.
So like Florida would definitely be good to you guys. There's a big scene for it in like Orlando and Tampa as well.
Oh, dope. Yeah, our rhythm guitarist is from Orlando, so I know she's gonna be ready to go down there. And she's still got family down there.
Yeah, that would be cool. So, do you work on any other projects?
Yeah, so I'm part of another collective called Soundbath Collective, which consists of my sis, Maji Music, who's an amazing singer, healer, guitarist, and this band called Sages for the Ages. Well, three of them, Sages for the Ages, Corey, Lowe, and O. They're dope, and we get together. We do like improv jams, and we go all over the place as far as genres. We just like it's a very meditative experience. I love getting together with them. We just come through. We go to Corey's living room in South Philly, and we just groove, and everybody plays whatever. Sometimes somebody like we switch around. He's got upright bass. Sometimes we're doing upright bass with electronic bass and drums and keys
Do
and
you play the
singing.
upright?
Not really. Actually, Maji hops on it a lot. She hops on upright bass a lot. Her and Corey. I tend to just play bass, and sometimes I get on vocals. I'll freestyle a little bit or do like meditation type stuff. And sometimes I'll hop on drums, very occasionally on keys, but for the most part, bass. And Corey can play everything. Like he's fire on every instrument. And Omar is the main drummer. He's fire on drums and Lo does keys really well too, and he's been playing guitar and he's a great singer. And it's just really fun. So we've been grooving and we have so many recordings of just like raw chill recordings of our sessions that we've been talking about, like kind of going back and taking from that and throwing out a project. So I love getting together with them. We every time we get together, we say we need a bath. We're dirty as fuck. Let's get in the bath. Let's get in the tub. Sound bath. So that's fun. That's like a really nice, like chill vibe. I love getting together with them. So yeah, other than that, pretty much just trying to get back into like making my beats. And I know me and you are gonna talking about doing some stuff. So just trying to I've been trying to just like record myself fiddling around and just so I can throw some stuff together, get back on the Logic and do some stuff. And my boyfriend and I jam all the time just for fun too. So that's pretty much the other musical stuff I have going on right now.
As far as production, what type of music do you feel like you like to do as a producer?
Mostly like Zen shit, like just super like trippy, chill stuff to like slow down to.
Yeah.
But I actually did make a really fun beat because I wanted to challenge myself to make something more upbeat. And I made this one that is more like it's like it's got like a more like upbeat dancey feel.
Nice.
So yeah, I guess I just but mostly like Zen stuff. Like all the first beats I ever made were very like meditative. And I like to use like different sounds, like worldly sounds and get weird and get trippy.
Nice. It's hard, to go back to like the sound bath stuff. I didn't want to cut you off, but I wanted to say I feel like that is like a great name for merch. Like
Yeah,
you guys, like that's a really good brand. Like whatever your all's vision for it is, but just the name, I definitely feel like you could do so much with that name specifically. That's
yeah,
it's a
totally.
good name. That's like really good for like shirts and any type of merch really that would be related to music.
Right.
And
We
then
were actually talking about making some bath related merch like towels and shit.
yeah, you could go that direction as well. Like and the meditative stuff too, with it being sound bath, like you guys could go like so many different directions with merch for that.
Right. Hell yeah. Yeah, I'm excited to see what the future holds for us for everything I'm involved in musically. I'm just so grateful that I like finally got out of my own way and like went for it because it really like fills up my heart, fills my cup with joy to be able to groove and different genres, especially like it's awesome. And I love the people I get to jam with and uh, I was even jamming with a band called Suede Lace for a while. It's an R&B band that's so awesome. Learned so much with them and they're just super cool too. I just feel like I've been really blessed to be able to play with different dope people who are all friends and who rock.
Yeah.
I feel honored.
Yeah, I mean, you started out at a pretty high note. Like I on my Amazon Prime, like I pass like a documentary about HR all the time. Like like I'm trying to find something to watch and there's a thing and it's not about just Bad Brains. It's about him specifically. And
Yeah,
and you're like,
great.
"Oh, it's just play drums with this legendary like singer for my first time trying to do something.
It's honestly really crazy. Like and especially because I had no idea like who Bad Brains or HR were until I started hanging with them. I was there because I was hanging out with his guitarist. His name's Zeke, and we were just like kicking it, and he's his guitarist, and then I meet the love of my life, who's his bassist, and like yeah, it's crazy that that's when I started like looking them up because they'd be like, yeah, HR, like everyone was like revering him as this like amazing person, and he's so fucking just has this presence of this like spiritual godly man, like, and he really is, and he's so sweet. And then I started going back and looking up like Bad Brains HR, and I'm like, holy shit, I'm like, this guy's insane. I started watching like old videos and stuff, and now I'm like obsessed. I'm like constantly listening to Bad Brains and stuff, and I'm so inspired too by like the punk with the reggae and just fucking sick. They're insane, and it is crazy that that's how I got into music. I'm just like, that's trippy, and I'm grateful to have a really nice relationship with HR, and yeah, I'm grateful that I got to meet the love of my life with through him too.
Yeah, that's awesome. Do you feel like what do you feel like the future for you after COVID holds when it comes to music? Do you have any plans or you just going with the flow?
I believe that my future musically will hold touring. I feel that. Like I've been having visions of like playing festivals and like big shows and just playing a lot. Like I just want to be on the road, just playing, playing, playing. I want to be able to like not work at like the grocery store that I work at. And I just want to be able to just like do what I love, like do my meditations, play music, do Reiki, just fucking be out, just be bringing the grooves to everybody all over the world, meeting other musicians, getting to be on. Like, I love one of my favorite parts about playing, besides actually like getting to play, is also just like seeing other like bands and being on the bill with all these other cool bands and just getting to watch them and meet them. And like, it's just so fun. There's just nothing like playing music. Like,
Yeah.
and seeing music and just like dancing and being there, like it just, music brings people together, and that's what I want. That's where I see myself, just like on the road with Vixen, on the road with Soundbath, on the road with my boo. Oh, I also like in the summer was doing some, my boyfriend Freshie, he plays bass in a band with Zebby Griffiths, who's this amazing reggae singer. He
Mm.
actually has a crazy story. He was like shot with Bob Marley when Bob Marley was like shot in Jamaica, and he like survived, and like he lives out here in Philly now, and he sings. He's a great like real authentic Rasta great singer. And so I was able to sing background with him for a bit. We did a show in the summer. That was sick. So I'm hoping Freshie talks about like putting that, like getting that going again. So actually me and Maji, we got to sing background with him. We did a rehearsal together with Maji. So we're planning on doing that again. And yeah, I just want to be like enthralled and just melting in music, just like flowing in it, just nonstop.
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds like the best life.
Yeah.
Like that's I mean, to me, I really miss live music as well. There's something special about it from just a viewer standpoint, just being there as, like a person in the crowd, but being like backstage and to the side of the stage and get to like meet the people that's going up there and see it from that point of view. It really, to me personally, inspires me that not just in music, but people really can like make their dreams come true, one, and like do things outside of themselves. Like I don't know how many times this happens a lot more at rock shows than like DJing stuff. But I remember like when I used to do rock stuff when I was younger, like how many times I would see like the lead singer or something, the guitar player even sometimes like throw up because they was too nervous and then go out there and be like the most like rock star type person, you know? And
Hell
it's
yeah.
like that's not who they are regularly. They like get real nervous and then like morph as they go onto stage into this whole different like person, and it's really cool to see how music can do that type of thing for people. And I think that's something that I've missed the most, like from COVID and stuff, because I haven't been doing any live stuff myself personally. So I just feel like I can't wait to get back out there. It's the
Right?
best, man.
It's the best. It's so true. Those nerves always come before you go on. But it's like the best. Like they say like that's really good because then like you just like use that energy and just like turn it into just like, all the vibes.
It's really strange. For me personally, I get really nervous with music. Um, because there's a lot of things that you don't necessarily control that could go wrong as well, like
Mhm.
maybe the sound guy or speaker stuff, microphone stuff, like you could be the one mess up. There's so many things that can go wrong, and if you're DJing, there's a bunch of other electronics involved, and I would always get really nervous. But I never like would have expected that, like in growing up in sports, like when, like it's a pressure situation, I like that because I practiced all the time. So I was like, like little kids with the, like, before they leave the court in basketball countdown, like 3, 2, 1, it's like you get to do that in real life. Like it's actually happening. It was an exciting moment in sports. But in music, I really do get like worried sick. Like I'm get so nervous, like, and I never would have thought I would be like that because of the way sports were. And I think it's because like music, like I said earlier, it like it changes people. And you said it connects people. So I feel like even though sports is like a very popular thing, it doesn't move people the same way that music does. Like
Yeah,
affect you in a different way, you know?
right, right. Totally. Yeah, there's nothing like music. Everybody's missing it. It's going to be amazing when we can perform again and go to shows and festivals again. We were saying, Vixen 77 in our little group chat, we were saying like, man, we're never going to take for granted, like, playing shows. Like, we'll never take it for granted. Like, when you're doing it before COVID, it's just like, yeah, this is normal. We're always playing. But after COVID, it's going to be so sacred, so much more sacred than it ever was, I think, for everyone.
Yeah, for sure. So I want to wrap up with two questions. All right. I feel like the last question is gonna be a long answer from you, but we'll get to that. So the first question is, if you have one piece of advice to give the listener, what would you say?
One piece of advice would be prioritize your centeredness and don't give a fuck what anyone thinks.
That's cool. And then second question, what are you most grateful for?
I am most grateful for my loved ones, my family, my soul family, my love. I feel really blessed to have real soul family here on earth, just amazing people in my life who support me, who I can call if I just want to talk, or who just are just dope and supportive. Even people who like aren't blood related, like even someone like you who like, how the hell did we even meet? Like so random, like California, like I live in Philly, like, you know what I mean? But just people who we connect and we vibe and it's just positive vibes. And yeah, that's what I'm most grateful for the people in my life that keep me keep me loved and who I can love.
Yeah, for sure. You're somebody who always like reminds me to be grateful. If I just happen to see like something on Instagram or whatever, like the way that I'm sure you have like things that go on in life that aren't like necessarily positive, but from the outside looking in, it's just like, oh, you can't be mad. Like Jazman wouldn't be mad. Like you need to be positive about what's going on. Like you're always, to me personally, always a constant reminder if I ever like if I'm just scrolling through my news feed or whatever. It's like, oh yeah, I need to have like gratitude. I need to have like a good outlook or perspective on things. So I was like actually like looking forward to asking you that. I wanted to know like how you like actually like felt about just like one specific thing because you do a really good job of being grateful for all the little things, you know.
Yeah, I definitely try to keep an attitude of gratitude. I also have to add in there, of course, Reiki and music are also like hand in hand in there because that really keeps me sane. Because I do get mad and I get to tune back into my Reiki practice, tune into music and tune into my loved ones to help me when I do get really mad or sad or something. So yeah, I'm grateful for all that.
That's great. Well, I'll leave you to the rest of your day. Whatever you want me to promote, like whatever music you want me to post along with the interview, just send it over or like let me know where to go to find it, and I'll get an article written up in a couple days and get this stuff posted.
Sweet. Thanks, Nate. This was awesome.
No problem. Thank you so much for taking the time to sit down and talk with me.
Hell yeah. Anytime.
All right, peace.
Peace.
Take
Have a
care.
great night.
Bye.